Electric vehicles, Earth's saviors or destroyers?
EVs are being pitched as cleaner, greener and sustainable. But are they? What's clean for the environment may not really be clean. Hidden beneath the shiny exteriors of an EV is a story of blood batteries. These cars drive human rights violations, extreme poverty and child labor.
What are EVs? An electric vehicle is a vehicle that uses one or more electric motors for propulsion. This vehicle can be powered by a collector system with electricity from extravehicular sources, or it can be powered autonomously by a battery. How EV batteries are made. An EV's battery is typically made from a mix of lithium, nickel, cobalt and manganese, while the anode is most commonly made using graphite. You might be wondering how these materials are extracted. In countries such as the Democratic Republic of Congo, child labor is most commonly used to extract raw materials such as cobalt and lithium. Children working here are not provided with any safety from the materials. This is both a human rights violation and a health and safety hazard.
This is one of the thousands of unregulated, unmonitored mines in the DRC. It's crawling with children working like modern-day slaves. A 12-hour-long day of punishing work may earn them the equivalent of £1. Although one of the poorest countries on earth, DRC is rich in minerals. But a history of brutal colonial exploitation looks like being repeated now in 2017. Much of it's mined by hand with rudimentary tools in harsh, potentially hazardous conditions. And wretched whether or not, the rush is on for a mineral the DRC has in great abundance, cobalt, and it's fast becoming more precious than gold. It's a critical ingredient in lithium-ion batteries which power smartphones and laptops.
Do EVs emit carbon dioxide? Even though EV manufacturers claim not to produce any carbon emissions, producing the average EV battery today emits up to 100 kilograms of carbon dioxide, equivalent per kilowatt hour.
It's estimated that up to 60% more carbon go into the making of an electric vehicle than a petrol or diesel-powered one. A great deal of this comes from the mining and refining of rare metals needed for batteries, such as cobalt and lithium, during which a lot of carbon is produced. For example, for every tonne of extracted lithium, between 5 and 15 tonnes of carbon is created. Manufacturing batteries also produces long carbon journeys, where raw materials are shipped around the world, usually to China, where they are refined, and then shipped back across the world to be put into cars. Those are just a couple of examples, looking specifically at the carbon impact of the manufacturing process of EVs. But there are a whole host of other environmental, human rights and geopolitical concerns that are created in the making of electric vehicles. When you consider the billions of litres of water being lost from delicate ecosystems during lithium refining, child labour issues surrounding cobalt mining in the DRC,
EVs with larger batteries producing more airborne particles from tyre wear, according to some studies.
we can begin to see that while electric vehicles are an answer to reducing our harmful reliance on fossil fuels, they are by no means a silver bullet.
EV's effects on our environment. As countries transition to electric vehicles, they could require 3 times as much lithium as it is currently produced for the entire global market, causing needless water shortages due to the fact that water is used to pump out the lithium from the ground.
One worker told the media, and I'm quoting, "If a worker dies, the Chinese don't report it to the government. They bury the person hiding the corpse and bribe the family to keep quiet." That's your electric car killing people even before it hits the road.
Here's the reason why the #1 car manufacturing company, Toyota, is not fully transitioning to EVs.
The brilliant reason why Toyota has decided not to switch to EVs is born out of its understanding of the auto market. Toyota knows that as long as there is freedom of choice, there will be those who would not touch an EV with a 10-foot pole and would always go for an internal combustion engine-based gasoline vehicle. This is why, as legacy automakers hopped on the EV trend to take a loss on every EV sale they make, Toyota will make a profit. It is simply the truth about life. We all cannot want the same thing, and when it comes to vehicles, this concept remains valid. So, with this knowledge in mind, it is clear that Toyota opts to position itself as the go-to option for people who still want to feel the powerful roar of a gas-powered engine and take a drive without having to worry about charging and range. Another reason why Toyota has refused to make the switch could be linked to the understanding of the reality of EV adoption. In other words, EV adoption is not as rosy as we have been made to believe. There are many regions and parts of the world that have inadequate or zero infrastructure for robust EV adoption. Many countries in Africa and some parts of Asia have very little or no charging stations, repair, maintenance, and service centers for EVs, as well as the relevant financial and credit facilities to facilitate the purchase of EVs.
Food for thought. Do you know how difficult it is to extinguish a fire caused by an EV? There have been incidents while the vehicles were in stationary position and they erupted in flames. According to data provided by Tesla, typical electric car fires take more than 28,000 gallons of water to put out. Is this really eco-friendly? Please comment and share your thoughts. And remember to like, share, and subscribe.